Kwaba, welcome back. After enslavement, Black women continued to struggle for the right to be fully human. Callie House, the mother of the reparations movement, was a woman born into slavery in 1861. With the end of enslavement in 1865, young House witnessed firsthand the misery and destitute condition of formerly enslaved people in the United States, now elderly, with no decent means to care for themselves. In 1890, House organized the National Ex-Slave Mutual Relief Bounty and Pension Association and demanded payment due to unpaid, formerly enslaved people. The U.S. federal government falsely accused and imprisoned her for mail fraud. House's imprisonment caused the first national grassroots African American movement to collapse and temporarily ended the reparations struggle. During the 20th century, several organizations have picked up the righteous cause for reparations, most notably CARICOM. As it was in 1865, it is still today. The fight for reparations is a fight for justice of historic wrongs that stubbornly linger in the 21st century, significantly diminishing the quality of life for Black people, while the wealth of our ancestors' labor still benefit the descendants of the oppressors. The need to keep Black people in their place in the United States gave rise to legal and illegal methods of policing Black people. Segregation laws were firmly in place, denying privileges of citizenship, especially voting, and lynching, a horrific practice of public torture and murder by hanging, became a white American pastime. A number of courageous African American women dedicated their lives to fighting against the manifestations of white supremacy. They include Ida B. Wells Barnett, a journalist transformed into an anti-lynching crusader after the father of her godchild was lynched for operating the successful People's Grocery. Like Callie House, Wells was born enslaved in 1862 and was inspired by her politically active parents. Wells single-handedly brought the grisly practice of lynching to the attention of the world, publishing the Red Record and speaking to European audiences about the horrific atrocities being committed against Black men, women, and even children. National embarrassment followed, and lynching substantially decreased. Wells was also a founder of the NAACP and remained active in politics and the women's movement for voting rights. In 2020, Wells was honored by the Pulitzer Prize with a special citation for her, and I quote, "outstanding and courageous reporting on the horrific and vicious violence against African Americans during the era of lynching," end quote. Born in 1889, Mittie Maud Lena Gordon, a former Garveyite, created the largest Black nationalist organization established by a woman. Based in Chicago, the Peace Movement of Ethiopia had 300,000 members at its zenith. Inspired by Garvey, Gordon organized a petition with 400,000 signatures of Black people wanting to relocate to West Africa, leaving the United States. She sent the petition to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, requesting funding for mass relocation. Though she was not successful, thousands more joined her movement with dreams of a better life in West Africa. Another serious warrior woman was the political activist Fannie Lou Hamer, born in 1917. She literally put her life on the line to register Black people to vote in her native Mississippi. Bravely challenging white people for political representation, Hamer was a founder of the Mississippi Democratic Freedom Party. Defiantly insisting that Black people be represented, she caused a major disruption at the National Democratic Convention in Atlantic City, New Jersey in 1968. The price of her activism was steep. Upon her return home to Mississippi, Hamer was jailed and nearly beaten to death, left blind and crippled for her righteous pursuit of equality. God knows she was sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like those before her, the sacrifices of Fannie Lou Hamer are today acknowledged and revered. Meanwhile, in 1929, the Igbo women of southeastern Nigeria had had enough of British colonial administrators and the oppressive rule of warrant chiefs appointed by the British. A tax for selling their wares, mainly food, in the marketplace was the last straw. The women organized what is known as the Aba Women's Riots. It was really an uprising that saw thousands of women gather in the provinces to protest. They protested using the traditional sitting on a man tactic. Sitting on a man involved night-long chanting, dancing, and singing that ridiculed men mercilessly. They also attacked European-owned stores, the Barclay Bank, and broke into prisons and freed the prisoners. When the women attacked the national courts run by British officials, burning it to the ground, colonial police and military troops were dispatched. Dozens of women were killed and wounded, but the uprising prompted the tax to be removed and the abuse of warrant chiefs were curbed. The Aba Women's Uprising lasted from November to December and was the first major challenge to British colonial authority in Nigeria. It takes a woman. Powerful African women of the continent and the diaspora. There are so many more I haven't even mentioned. They built institutions, nurtured movements, and sustained our communities. I'm talking Dame Lois Brown Evans, Ella Baker, Dr. Kariama Welsh. Their wisdom, vision, and courageous bravery must be celebrated as the personification of the female spirit. These women exemplified what it means to be human. They demanded respect. And we can't help but feel admiration and even awe for the power of their self-determination, perseverance, resilience, beauty, and dignity. To quote Queen Angela Davis, when Black women win victories, it is a boost for virtually every segment of society. The connections between the warrior women of the past and the need for their warrior spirit today is obvious. The fearlessness and courage, vision of bold, beautiful Black women continues to be manifest in the 21st century. Or, poetically speaking, women, wise, wondrous warrior women, staring adversity in the face, grabbing apathy by the throat and seriously throttling it, raising consciousness, expanding resources, never giving up, sticking to the wicked women. Powerful, passionate, prayerful women, full, crazy, clear, goal-oriented, mission-bound, hope-filled, working the work, building schools, nurturing children, growing community, not talking, but doing what must be done. Unashamed, unapologetic, undeterred, unabashedly bold, brilliant, vibrant women, creating opportunities, demanding options, kicking doors open, manifesting reality from dream threads, sashaying across the global stage of history, culture, and policy making, making a difference at home, in their communities, and around the world. Do you hear me? Are you listening? Women are needed, required, indispensable in the world, in every community today. Support one, encourage one, love one, and if you are blessed to be one, a vivacious, victorious, visionary woman. Hotep, I am Mwalimu Melody Masheri Van Putten, and I am dropping the knowledge. Ashe.
Truth, justice, righteousness, harmony, balance, order, reciprocity. 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 Justice, righteousness, harmony, balance, order, reciprocity. Truth, justice, righteousness.